Where history continues to leave us baffled, nothing is better left unknown. Shocking mysteries, strange discoveries, and surprising wonders hidden inside the earth. Let's find out some of the most unusual things hidden among the weirdest parts of the world. Mummy with hands over face. Bounded in ropes with his hands covering the entire face, a mummy was found tossed aside in an enigma of fear. The discovery was made in November 2021 in an underground tomb in Cajamarquilla, Peru, with archaeologists claiming it to be a member of the pre-Inca tribe. And apart from being in a perfectly preserved state, the mummy is thought to be some 800 to 1200 years old. In addition to this, the mummy is most likely a man of high status of around 25 to 30 years old, who might have hiked down from the mountains to the town. Crocodile Museum. In ancient Egypt, the demand for mummified crocodiles was intense, due to which thousands of them were bred and reared in captivity to be dispatched and mummified for offerings to the potent gods to gain good luck and favors. Which leads us to the formation of this crocodile museum located in the Amba Temple, where 22 crocodile mummies are currently on public display. The museum also features crocodile eggs, wooden sarcophagi, and crocodile fetuses. The body of crocs were treated with salts, oils, and resins, wrapped up in multiple layers of linen with its last meal still inside the stomach. Mummified cats and scrabs. Discovered on November 10, 2018, a 4,500-year-old version of what a cat fancier today might try to replicate. Speaking of which, 7 pharaonic age tombs were found in Egypt, filled with dozens of mummified cats, 1,000 wooded gilded cat statues, and a bronze cat statue dedicated to the goddess Bastet. According to an Egyptian belief, cats were mummified and placed in tombs with their owners so that the pair could remain together in the afterlife too. And while showing their admiration toward felines, Egyptians used to dedicate mummified cats at the sanctuary of the cat goddess Bastet as offerings. Mummified alien baby. Damaged by the nuclear radiation in 1957, an alienoid human baby was taken by a lady in 1996 and handed to the Russian police captain to figure out the mystery behind his skinless creature ought to be around 10 inches long. Well, upon digging into the investigation, 3 years later it turned out it was nothing but a malformed human embryo. People were more into believing it a mystical conjecture of the dwarf's alien body. Dinosaur fossil. While achieving a massive milestone, archaeologists in China's southwest Yunnan province discovered a rare skeleton of a dinosaur in May 2021. With 70% of its remains perfectly intact, the dinosaur is thought to be around 180 million years old. And according to Chinese paleontologists, the skeleton is based on its long tail and thigh bones. The monstrous animal is known to be a member of the Lufringosaurus dinosaur, a group of dinosaur species that lived in southwest China during the early Jurassic period. Cave filled with giant crystals. In 2000, a geologist along with 2 miners found a cave containing the largest natural crystals, measuring up to 472 inches long, in Chihuahua, Mexico. The Cave of Crystals was previously buried 1,000 inches below Nikia Mountain in the Chihuahuan Desert, due to the volcanic activity that began about 26 million years ago and filled it with high-temperature anhydrite, a form of gypsum. When the magma underneath the mountain cooled to below 58 degrees Celsius, the anhydride began to dissolve, thus depositing waters enriched with sulfite and calcium in the cave in the form of huge crystals. Skull of an extinct crocodile species. Inside the depths of the flooded caves, a recent twist in the history of crocs was made when a couple of divers discovered a horned skull of an extinct croc species, which may have disappeared some 2,000 years ago. Based on fossil records, the horned crocodiles belong to Vue robustus, an indigenous species of crocodile to Madagascar, going back to 9,000 years ago. According to research papers, either horned crocs have become extinct following the arrival of uninvited Nile crocs on the island of Madagascar Island, but the fact that the appearance of the first humans occurred in the same year is certainly another evidence of their extinction. jaws of Leviathan. In 2008, a fossil of a giant whale called Leviathan was discovered in the Ucayche Desert in southern Peru. Leviathan is known for having the teeth bigger than a grown man's forearm. The largest predator that has ever lived on the planet Earth, Leviathan, lived roughly 12 million years ago, and its teeth were measured more or less 14 inches long in size. Moreover, the overall size of the shark is around 789 inches in length, regarding it as the largest ever shark recorded. Well-preserved carcass of a farmer. Moving on towards the 2,400-year-old unsolved mystery, a carcass of a well-intact man was found from the bog of Wetland, Denmark. Based on scientific research, the Tolen man, found in 1950, belonged to the early Danish Iron Age and was reported to be in his early 40s before he was ritually sacrificed. Moreover, after re-examining his gut contents, scientists found that he had eaten porridge made out of wild seeds cooked in a clay vessel, and probably some fish just around 12 to 24 hours before he severed as an offering, which, by the way, is a common meal used for special occasions, including human sacrifice in the Danish Iron Age culture. Today, this uniquely preserved body by acidic peat bogs is displayed in the Danish National Museum. Before we move any further, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon so you can keep watching our amazing content. Ancient wine factory. Unlike anything that's been found before, researchers in Israel discovered an enormous wine factory approximately 1,500 years old, spread over an entire area of a football ground. The world's largest factory of the Byzantine era, the site is known to be containing 5 presses at the huge winery at Yavne, south of Tel Aviv, estimated to have produced 2 million liters of drink each year over an area of 0.4 square miles. Apart from this, there were warehouses from aging and bottling of drinks and kilns for firing the jars used for storing it. And holding a reputation for quality, the drink known as Gaza and Ashkelon wine was exported to Europe. Dinosaur eggs. 5 round-shaped eggs that belonged to the plant-eating dinosaurs were found in the Kundong province of China, belonging from the Cretaceous period. Believed to be around 70 million years old, 3 of the 5 eggs were already destroyed, but are still visible in the fossil. And by further investigation, the eggs are nearly spheroidal, measuring around 4.1 to 5.4 inches, with a width of 3.9 to 5.3 inches. Woolly mammoth tusk. Stunned by marvelous discovery, archaeologists from England stumbled upon a 40,000-year-old woolly mammoth's tusk under the Devon cave. Carefully extracted along with other bones, the beast was estimated to roam the area during the last ice age, stretching back around 30,000 to 60,000 years ago. After this one-in-a-lifetime discovery, the surrounding area was converted into a village containing 5,500 homes known as Sherford. Besides this, the remains of other species, including bison, wolves, bats, and hyena, were also unearthed inside the cave's system. Chan Chan statues. While excavating in Peru, archaeologists stumbled upon 20 wooden statues lined up at the largest pre-Columbian ancient site at Chan Chan. With each statue dating back to around 800 to 1,000 years old, aligned in niches in the wall of the ceremonial corridor, it is believed they were used to mark the tombs of significant people, decorated with high mud reliefs. Apart from this, a wooden sculpture of a female was also found representing the Peruvian Chimu culture. The sculpture is measured at 19 by 6 inches, dated back between 850 to 1,500 years old. The figure has a flat face painted in red, a protruding nose, and almond-shaped eyes, perfectly preserved in resin to affix the mother-of-pearl stones to the surface. Ancient fort. A rare, well-preserved ancient Great Wall fort was discovered in Muas Desert, China's Jiangxi province, by Chinese archaeologists dating back to the Ming Dynasty from 1368 to 1644. Known as Qingping Bao Fort, the fort was covered and buried under the desert. Moreover, according to historians, the fort was built between 1465 and 1487. ancient bones. After a continuous struggle of 2 decades, in 2004 scientists along with divers managed to pull off ancient remains from the icy tips of frozen river Tobol, some 1,242 miles east of Moscow, near the city of Kurgan in Russia. The rare artifacts included shark teeth, bones of woolly rhinoceros, mammoths, lions, ancient fish, some other extinct animals, and even prehistoric human tools. According to experts, winter is better for the divers, as the river is shallow and flows more slowly when the air temperature tends to drop down to minus 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. Tower of Human Skulls. Beaded like pearls on strings, a tower of around 100 human skulls was found in Mexico City, dating back between 1486 to 1502. Consisting of row after row of skulls impaled on long wooden poles, the wall of the tower is estimated to be around 192 inches wide. The tower is believed to have been part of a skull rack from the old Aztec capital, Tenochtitlan, and likely created to honor the Huitzilopochtli, the Aztec god of sun, war, and sacrifice. Speaking of which, the Aztecs used to ritually sacrifice people to appease their gods by displaying the heads of their dead on enormous cylindrical racks called zampantali to show off their empire's might to enemies and invaders. But in 1521, when conquistadors invaded the Aztec Empire, the temple was destroyed, along with the poor souls who dared to participate in the construction of this temple by donating their skulls. Bronze statues. Italy cheers the discovery of some more than 20 bronze statues from the ancient Roman times in Tuscany in November 2022. The statues, dating back to 2,300 years ago, represent Greco-Roman religious figures like Apollo, the god of sun, who were used to honor a holy place before getting into the thermal baths as part of a ceremony during the height of the Roman Empire. In addition to this, all 24 of them were covered with nearly 6,000 bronze, silver, and gold coins, suggesting that the statues were made by a high-level group of people. According to experts, the statues were submerged in thermal baths as part of a ritual, probably in hopes that you give to the water and it will return the favor by giving something back to you. Sea dragon. An enormous skeleton of a sea dragon was found beneath the natural reserves in England. Measuring up to 396 inches long, the sea dragon used to swim in the seas when dinosaurs were alive, and upon further inspection, the marine reptile is known to be the largest and most complete fossil of an ichthyosaur ever found, with a skull weighing around 1 ton. Moreover, ichthyosaurs resemble dolphins in body shape and became extinct around 90 million years ago. Underground city. Rediscovered 40 years later in 1963, Derinkuyu is an ancient underground city located in Turkey, near the Nevşehir province of Cappadocia. The intricate labyrinth of caves and tunnels hidden 3,346 inches below the bowels of the earth is home to around 20 to 30,000 people. The underground city was mainly built to protect people from war and religious persecutions. Connected, though, other underground cities through mile-long tunnels, it was equipped with stone doors, a ventilation system, and drinking water supplies. Each house had a number of rooms to use as bedrooms, warehouses for storage of food and kitchen. The city was unfortunately abandoned in 1923 after the population exchange between Greece and Turkey. Whale skeleton. While baffling the archaeologist, a cyclist spotted a bone sticking out from the ground of Thailand and made a remarkable discovery. Turns out it was a 5,000-year-old skeleton of Bride's whale, measuring up to 512 inches long, with a 118-inch long skull, which is about the length of a bus found at an inland site west of Bangkok. Up till now, researchers have managed to excavate 80% of the remains, including vertebrae, 5 ribs, a shoulder blade, and fins. While moving forward will help scientists undertone the evolution of the species and track how sea levels have changed over the years. Prehistoric tortoise. Considered as mythological, the tortoise managed to prove everyone else wrong when it decided to come out of its shell after 100 years. Previously missing for more than a century, the rare species was discovered in Galapagos in February 2019. According to the data, the tortoise was last spotted in 1906, making scientists believe that it had become entirely extinct. But when a team of biologists hiked up on the top of an active volcano, they were pretty amazed to find this huge buddy resting inside the bushes. The turtle had unique patterns on shells, a pink nose, and is named Ferd, recovering in a breeding center in Santa Cruz Island to keep up rocking the world. 8 mummies. Under the coffins painted in red, blue, black, green, and yellow, 8 well-preserved mummies were found along with some more than 1,000 funerary statues packed inside a 354-inch shaft. The discovery took place in 2017 at a tomb near the Valley of the Kings in Luxor in Egypt. The statues were traditionally placed alongside the mummies. The artifacts are thought to be at least 3,000 years old. 100 of woolly mammoth bones. Around 200 ancient mammoth skeletons have been discovered beneath an airport construction site north of Mexico City. The largest collection of mammoth bones ever found, according to researchers. The site might be the resting place for at least 100 of the extinct mammals who used to walk on Earth 10,000 years ago. Moreover, according to researchers, the mammoths might have gotten stuck in mud along the lake's shore and passed away while starving for food. Fairy coffins. Who would have thought a rabbit hunt can put them up on headlines? Specifically, not these guys, who in awe of having some nicely looking cooked rabbits for dinner, ended up digging out 17 miniature coffins. The incident took place in June 1836 inside a cave near the slopes of Arthur's Seat in Edinburgh. Could easily fit into your palm. Each coffin was measured up to 3.7 to 4.7 inches long, carved out of a single piece of Scots pine. Moreover, the wooden fire rings inside the coffins were dressed in little homemade grave clothes. While the mystery behind these coffins is still unknown, the series of pins attached to them points towards their involvement in witchcraft. Anyhow, the 8 of these perfectly preserved coffins are today displayed in the National Museum of Scotland. Dinosaur figurines. Talking about mysteries and miracles, a man named Waldemar Jolsrod, while riding a horse near Mountain El Toro in Alcambaro, Mexico, made a remarkable discovery. It happened in 1944, when some carved stones and ceramic pieces turned out to be artifacts from several million years ago. There were around 33,700 figurines, including ancient Indian tribes, musical instruments, faces of idols, and most importantly, the exact model of handcrafted dinosaurs. Some of the dinosaur figurines found were as much as 5 feet long, anticipating the existence of human life since the Jurassic period. Remains of toads. Pretty excited to discover intact bowls and jars, archaeologists were surprised to find a heap of small bones in one of the jars. The bones of at least 9 toads, all of which had been decapitated prior to being placed inside. Found in a 4,000-year-old tomb in Jerusalem during the Middle Bronze Age era, the funerary jar was filled with offerings of food to provide sustenance to the mummies, and toads happened to be part of their diet. Hence, it was filled with toads. Apart from this, digging a bit deeper, it was revealed the area was previously used in the cultivation of date palms and myrtle. Snacks in Tutankhamun's tomb. Since ancient Egyptians were obsessed with living, Tutankhamun's tomb was found loaded with gold statues, clothes, and everything he needed to navigate the afterlife. Speaking of each, eating is an essential part to survive either in this life or hereafter, and that's exactly what Tutankhamun's tomb was crammed with: pomegranates, onions, garlic, bread, pitted dates, and of course, bottles filled with drinks. Today's open discussion is about an incredible Capuchin crypt located in Brno's Capuchin Church. The place was found in the mid-17th century and is better known for turning the bodies into mummies through a natural mummification process because of the geological composition of the ground and the system of airing. Well, actually, back in the old days, monks were mummified and placed for over 300 years until the 18th century. The only pathway to the vault is by passing through a series of underground tunnels where around 24 mummified bodies of monks are placed lined up against the wall with their heads resting on bricks and arms folded across the chest. Today, the site is not only considered as a great tourist attraction, but it is also pretty useful for giving life to various scientific theories. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.